everybody, it's your man, Governor Wildstar, and welcome to the Black Side of Liberty. I appreciate you all for tuning in with me this evening. I got a wonderful guest who I'll be introducing to you momentarily. Hopefully, we have all of the technical difficulties squared away, and he'll be jumping in here shortly. But first and foremost, you know what to do. If you are watching from YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and make sure that you're getting notifications because I'm almost at that 30,000 subscriber mark where I wanted to get. And I need all of you out there to help me get there. So please definitely be sure to, like I said, subscribe, help me reach my goal. And also what you can do to help is just share this video. Share any of my videos on my YouTube channel. Help spread the word. Let people know what I'm doing out here to be involved in the community as well as advance the liberty movement. So share any of my videos. Sharing is caring. And of course, share any of my posts on social media. If you're out there on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, check me out on governorwildstar.com. If you haven't connected with me yet, visit my website right now and be sure to hit any one of those social media icons and be sure to connect with me also. Help me expand and grow, and I'll definitely do everything, like I said, to keep you informed of what's going on here on the streets, okay? And yeah, of course, if you want to donate to help me keep this going, you know what I'm saying? If we can expand and grow and actually make this a network, a platform that can keep going, it got to be fruitful. It got to be prosperous. I don't get paid to do this shit. So please donate. Any little bit helps. $5, $10, $20, any dollars. I need them dollars. And do like my man Do Yep says, what do you think about the elections this year? I think they're bullshit. Vote libertarian. Throw your vote away. Fuck Trump. Fuck Biden. You know, fuck the two-party system. Throw your vote away. Vote libertarian. I know people say it's pointless. Well, it's pointless if you continue to support this broken-ass system that exists. So you might as well just throw your vote away. Give it to somebody who deserves it, like Joe Jorgensen, the only candidate that's willing to end the federal income tax, the only candidate that's willing to bring our troops home, the only candidate that's willing to end the Federal Reserve, the only candidate that wants to end the ATF and the DEA and the FDA and all those damn letter or, you know, alphabet agencies that exist. And yeah, be sure to check her out, Joe Jorgensen. That's who I voted for already, and I hope you do also. But like I said, do like my man Do Yep, and drop a comment anytime during the broadcast. We're going to have, you know, be dropping those comments and questions as we chat to our guests. Speaking of which, he is backstage, and I don't want to hold him up any longer because it is a little late out here on the West Coast, and I know my man is very busy on the campaign trail. So let me introduce to you my man, Mackenzie Chang. What's up, Mackenzie, and welcome to the Black Side of Liberty, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Oh, no problem. Hey, we got it all figured out before, you know, you got to the screen. So that's all good. That's all that matters. But Mackenzie Chang is here in the building, and he is actually a candidate running for Fullerton City Council District 2. I actually used to live out there in Fullerton and ran for city council myself in District 3. So now you got Mackenzie out there stepping up to the plate, representing the Libertarian Party, freedom, liberty, and justice for all those good principles. And he's going to talk about doing this thing. Again, Mackenzie, I appreciate you for being here with me, man.
Yeah, I had to keep it going, right? Had to keep giving the voters a chance to vote for someone who stands for liberty and wants right, you know, less government in their lives and less regulations, less, of course. Big thing here is taxes increasing and basically the projection that Fullerton's going to be bankrupt in 5 years, which is crazy to think about. But
that's why I don't live there anymore. That's why I had to get out of the city. You know what I'm saying? It was just way too much trouble for me. But yeah, let's talk about that campaign, shall we? But first, I just recently learned about you. You know what I'm saying? I was looking for candidates on the Libertarian Party website. If you guys haven't checked it out already, calp.org, something like that. but find out about your candidates, local candidates running here in California, that you have an opportunity to switch up things and change that two-party system. Like my man said, less is more, and the libertarians are the only ones providing that option to you, we the people. So Mackenzie, I just learned learned a little bit about you. I'd like to know more. So please, if you could, tell me and my guest, the audience out there, who is Mackenzie Chang?
Sure, man. Actually, so like full disclosure, I technically cannot be endorsed by the Libertarian, the party itself, because I'm actually work for the federal government, believe it or not. And so yeah, that would be against federal law and the Hatch Act. So while I espouse libertarian values, I'm technically not endorsed or bringing any libertarian politics into it. But yeah,
Right.
Just this disclaimer. I know everyone probably understands. But yeah, before that, like I guess kind of I have a weird journey as a libertarian, because I came into it in 2008 when Ron Paul was running, and I think like a lot of other libertarians, especially young people, they found someone who like spoke to issues, who was very like a convicted person for what his moral beliefs were. I didn't necessarily agree with all of them, but it was finally the first time I saw a candidate or someone who kind of really spoke to integrity. And of course, that's like an oxymoron with politicians.
I know, right?
And that's, yeah, definitely. But then I always kind of thought, like, well, why is there a system that pushes back so much against these kind of people coming into power? Why is it so difficult for people with integrity, with more about them than, collecting corporate like donations and working to increase the scope and power of the government? Why are there so few people that are against that?
Right.
And so I constantly looked for those answers, and I'm in California. I grew up here. North Orange County is a little bit tending towards the conservative side. And so after high school, I thought, let me go to the probably most liberal or leftist place I can go for college. And so I went to UC Santa Cruz, right in the midst of this is when they were protesting them, like building a new science building. And they sat, like the kids had sat in and pretty much destroyed like a couple of the buildings there. It was very strange. And it was a good opportunity for me to be exposed to that kind of stuff, learn a lot about different parts of culture, different kinds of people and their issues. And professors would be left as well. And I had a lot of questions for them. For me, their rhetoric was always like, well, look at Europe, look at how they do socialism and social programs there. I was 19, 20 years old. I mean, I thought, okay, they must be right. Let me see for myself. And so I went and studied and lived abroad in first Sweden. And that was the first time I had ever seen a Confederate flag flown, with not as a joke. Yeah. And I would ask the local people there, what was it about? Why did they do that? And luckily, two of the people that were like our chaperones, or the people that were Swedes that were there to kind of watch over us, they were both not like native Swedish people. One was a Chinese immigrant and one was an Iranian immigrant. And they both explained to me the like social issues that were coming as a result of immigration into Sweden, and how it was putting a strain on their social issues and their social policies. And this was back in 2010. And so I was like, wow, there's a lot of layers to this, and things are changing and evolving. And then I started to notice how, like, this is just my personal anecdotal experience, but like when I was there in 2010, they had like beautiful beaches, but half of the beaches only the Swedish people, like white Swedes, would sit at, and then the recent like Muslim immigrants were all on a different beach. And of course, it was a pretty stark difference as to which beaches were nicer and which ones weren't.
Interesting.
And I think as we since then, since 2010, there have been a lot more social issues, integration wise, with the influx of refugees in Sweden. Not to say that that's not a good thing. I appreciate that. I'm a refugee asylum officer for my job, so that to me is a great thing. But the way that social programs and those things work, it really impressed upon me that it's so much more complicated than that. And so, yeah, I kept going to school. I kept realizing how dumb I was and how much I didn't know about how policies and how the things work the way they do. And I kept making, every time I heard politicians back in the US or pretty much anywhere try to describe policies and how they worked to people, I always thought, wow, they're either really dumbing it down or they're like just lying, because a lot of this is not, it's not how it works. Like,
a little bit of B, especially knowing our government. It's like a mixed bag. You never know what the hell you're going to get. Hey, really quickly, do you have on your Wi-Fi? Because you sometimes you're freezing up, and I just want to make sure you got the best connection possible,
I am on my Wi-Fi, but my room isn't in the best location.
Okay. Yeah, I know that cell phone reception is a bit spotty out there in Fullerton. I was offering as a candidate to help bring some free Wi-Fi. Hopefully you can pick up where I left off and offer that to the people there, but it definitely could be beneficial. But at least we still have
Elon Musk Starlink.
What's that?
Maybe get that Elon Musk satellite Starlink out here.
I'm telling you, yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for the introduction. And you are a candidate running for District 2 out there in Fullerton for City Council. Yep. And I do want to talk about that a little bit, or definitely, of course, since that's why we're here. Like I said, I used to live in Fullerton myself. One of the main pressing issues after talking to hundreds of people, was that they are sick of the roads. And that seemed to be like the first and foremost thing that they want to have addressed once you get elected. And you did bring up that Fullerton right now is kind of pressing on his budget, don't really have much money to spend. So when I was running for office, I was letting people know, hey, we could fix the roads without tax dollars. There's companies like Domino's that will fix potholes and pave roads for free, just for slapping down.
I saw you deliver that speech in City Council.
Cool. And a lot of people love the idea, and it's unfortunate that Fullerton didn't, follow through on that. The City Council members, and they patch a road or patch a potla,
a pothole.
What is it? A pothole in the road, And next thing you know, it's like even worse than before. So it seems like a third world country with the roads. I don't know if they're doing it to just waste money with the vendors that they have or whatever the case may be. But since that is one of the main issues out there in Fullerton, I want to ask you, how do you plan to fix those roads? Give my roads.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic, right, for a libertarian to have to fix the roads, and that's the common joke. Who will build the roads, right? But there's one of the candidates, his whole campaign is just roads. I'll fix the roads, but there's no plan, right? There's the reason why the roads are bad is because there's no revenue, and if you look at the whole breakdown of the budget, they spend way too much money on the police and the fire, especially pensions. And no one really talks about that or brings it up, because who donates money to these campaigns? You probably know it's these police unions. Yeah. So and it's it's a topic that a lot of, especially all the guys I'm running against, they're new, and it's scary to try to stand up to a union. They're very big, powerful groups here, and if someone says anything bad about the police, it's going to immediately polarize people, And I think kind of naturally people are either afraid of that conflict or they kind of shut off on the issues. But really, for me, it's about money. I look at Transparent California, a great website that shows.
All right, I love that.
Yeah. And the overtime levels and the pay on these cops is insane. That they're like doubling their salaries in overtime. And there has to be efficiencies and ways of bringing down, not necessarily what people deserve, like what their actual compensation should be for working, but the structure that it's done, because it's right now it's 70% of the general fund budget that goes to just the police and the fire department. And even this year the police got a raise while the city of Fullerton fired over 150 part-time employees.
What?
Yep. And I think that's just something that people don't talk about, right? These guys are supposed to be our heroes and the people we look up to, at least in the community, depending on who you are, right? They're not the people that are saying, we'll put our raise off so that we can save some jobs.
Of course.
They're the ones that are actually, they ask for more. And they ask for more every single year. So it's a roundabout way of saying that pension reform and fixing the budget is the only way to fix the roads. There are other ways, but that would include people being taxed more. Well,
you got to trim the fat off the budget.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's more so your plan is if you can cut funding here in this area, you'll have more funding here in this area to fix the roads and infrastructure improvements, etc. And I think that's more so what the people want. It's sad that with the power and influence that these unions have and the relationships, the deep pockets that have gone on in Fullerton, same thing in Fresno here. It's the same story, no matter where you go. It's all about
the same union representative.
Wow, exactly. Yeah. So, and you have the right idea. It's just a matter of getting all of these people out there that's hearing you to help spread that message and let others know so they can actually get you in office so you can follow through on that. So, since you did bring up or touch a little bit on the issue of no matter, depending on who you are, you may not receive these type of services or be as welcome to the city as somebody else. And I would say, with me being a Black man living in Fullerton, one of the things that I experienced a lot was just racial prejudice. I got stopped more by police officers in Fullerton than any other city that I lived in. I actually have a video on YouTube right now. I think it got like 4 million views or some shit of a Fullerton PD officer pulling me over at the gas station just for getting gas.
I saw that one too.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, man. He's just drilling me, asking me 21 questions about why the hell I'm getting gas in that neighborhood. And I'm like, man, I live here. But and I got, just like I said, harassed by police left and right out there in Fullerton. But since the president of the United States is out there talking to the public about how, China is to blame for this coronavirus. And, there's a lot of prejudiceness out there, not only towards Black people, but towards Asian Americans as well. So I want to ask you, have you experienced any prejudice yourself out there in Fullerton?
I'll be honest. Fullerton's been really nice to me. I haven't really felt that kind of prejudice or negativity here. And I'm really grateful for that.
That's good.
I'm also pretty used to being different, and I kind of actually seek that out in life in a weird masochistic way. I did the Peace Corps in Ukraine for 2 years, and I lived in a really small village out in the Carpathian Mountains, and there was no Asian person that a lot of them had ever seen other than on YouTube or TV, and so I'd get strange looks all the time, people asking me different questions, and often a language I didn't understand. Sometimes, usually the drunk people getting kind of inappropriate, but
Of
that, I
course.
mean, I think it's made me a stronger person and understand that how to deal with kind of situations that I feel like, oh, I might be in danger here. Um,
Mhm.
and I've seen some of your stuff. I definitely don't have the cojones that you do when it comes to confronting authority. Uh,
All right.
the worst I would do is in the classroom and annoy teachers.
For sure. Hey, once you get elected, pretty sure that you're gonna be stepping up to the plate to let them know that you're the boss in charge. They work as a public servant just as you will be doing, and it's up to you to hold them, accountable for their actions and keep them in line. So please definitely do that because
100%.
Fullerton are going to need that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen Fullerton PD's their recruitment video. It's they paid some guy like to make a fancy like look, come join the Fullerton Police Department, and they straight up, it looks like an episode for some TV show, making like the police, they're chasing bad guys, they're zooming down downtown Fullerton in the streets, throwing guys in the back of cop cars. And I'm thinking, first of all, why are we spending money to make like a you know made for TV
Propaganda.
cop movie?
Yeah.
And and second, like we don't. They're showing the SWAT team and their like armored vehicles. This is not a good public facing image for people to think about. Okay, yeah, these are the guys that are in our town and they're protecting us, right?
Yeah. I mean, they want to portray that image as if they're the tough guy, and to scare people into submission instead of, asking for the respect of the community by showing it through their actions. It's awful that they use taxpayers' money to propagandize, pretty much put out these PSAs to make it seem like they're providing this incredible service and they're cleaning up the streets and all of that, when really they're just a ragtag group of rogue ass cops, and they do a lot of harassing, and I don't know what the hell their incentive is, but we got to definitely change that in some way. And with that being said, I want to ask you this because you are a pretty young guy, and so am I. We definitely are doing our thing, and I guess they put us in this category of millennial. I abhor that term, but I guess since it helps the people out there identify with what age group we belong to, with us being millennials, I want to ask you, why is it important to have millennial representation in office, especially right now?
I think 100% the reason younger people need to be in office and be involved in not just helping get other people elected, which we do. A lot of young people, I mean, through social media, you can see a lot of engagement, but younger people need to be involved in the actual policy making.
Right.
Our ideas, we have different ideas about how things can be achieved, right? The same old tactics of, okay, what do we need to do? Oh, this is a problem. We need to spend more money on it. Okay, well, how are they going to spend money on it? Call up your buddy. I remember this guy. He did this work. We'll give him the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna work. I think I tailored like my growing up. I'm 31 now, so my whole 20s was revolved around working with like government groups, non-government NGOs, to see
Mm-hmm.
how like incentives is such a big problem in government because of the lack of incentive to be efficient. And I wanted to find groups of people in the U.S. government, from local level all the way up to the federal level, of how did they actually become efficient? What groups are working well, and what groups are doing good things that is a good return on the taxpayers' dollar. And
Yeah.
I think I got to work in the State Department and the embassies in Berlin and in Ukraine, and I've worked at a local level. I know you know the Silvas. You ran against
Oh,
Jesus Silva, but I
yeah.
actually, when I was in college, I was a volunteer on his wife's campaign for
Oh,
state
wow.
assembly, and
Okay.
because I wanted to see how the machine worked on the inside,
Mm-hmm.
and it really turned me off to the party because
Right.
it felt really good in the beginning, and it was small, and we were just talking about who she was. And then once like the polls started coming out and they saw her getting better, Sacramento came in, all this money came in,
Mhm.
ads, like these kind of hit piece ads started going out on the other guy, the Republican, and the Republican was my friend's dad, and
Oh,
he was
wow.
going through a divorce at the time, and they put out this mailer that showed him, like, I guess they took a picture of him laying on a park bench, and they were like, a failed father. I was like,
Oh,
it was disgusting to me. And
that,
I was like, I don't feel good about being a part of this when I was young. And that kind of had a real impact on me. And that's why for me, like running, I want it to be something civil. I, I'm not sending any mailers out with like all of this stuff about how this person's a liar and blah, blah, blah. And it's all of that, and try to get the money out of the politics too. I'm not trying to spend, all these guys are spending tens of thousands of dollars
no, right?
from real estate development companies, from independent, these wealthy people who, you don't know what their agenda is. And
Right.
especially the party, I mean, you kind of know what their agendas are.
Yeah, of course. And you're right. They play dirty and they
Yeah.
use smear campaigns, especially once the money starts pouring in, because it seems like they got to use those tactics and controversy to win. They can't just run an honest, genuine, good man's campaign, like you're attempting to do, and actually get that seat. They have to drag their opponent through the mud, and do everything that they can to kind of tarnish their name in order to get a step forward. So it's sad that you had that experience on at such a young age, but it's great that you actually took it upon yourself to say, hey, I want to learn what this is all about, because a lot of younger people, we do stay away from politics, but you're absolutely right. We help them get elected and stay into power through us being involved in their campaign, whether it's sharing a meme or a video or whatever the case on social media. We're the ones really doing all of the promoting for them. It's like free damn promotion. So please, people, if you're out there watching and you're loving what Mackenzie is saying so far, share this video, share any of his information right there on Facebook, Mackenzie Chang for City Council, and on Instagram, Mackie Chang. All right, so Matt, I do want to talk to you about another sensitive subject, because while I was out there in Fullerton, I'm not sure if you heard about the killing of Kelly Thomas,
Of
the white
course.
man who was beat to the bloody pulp by the damn Fullerton PD. And
Yeah.
as corrupt as the police is, I mean, even one of the police officer, the city, what is it, the police chief, he was arrested for assaulting someone else, and they put him on
On
paid
leave.
administrative leave for like
Yeah.
6 months, and then he ended up retiring. So it's like, the police. Oh, and then of course me, I got pulled over walking down the street, for fitting the damn description. And during my campaign for Fullerton City Council, I let people know, hey, I could either sue the shit out of the city of Fullerton, or you can give me the job and I'll fix the system from the inside. They chose instead to pay me the money. I ended up suing the city and getting a nice, handsome payoff. And yeah, so I want to ask you, since the police department does need some, reining in, what will you do about these rogue cops on the streets of Fullerton?
So a big thing that came out, there was a law that was passed a while ago, but the city of Fullerton came around to publishing what full like investigation into the Kelly Thomas death,
Mm-hmm.
murder, and they showed the different levels of steps of corruption and how far up it went, all the way up to the county supervisor, and how they were trying to repress information from coming out, the tactics, what they would coach the officers on what to say after the incident happened. They would repress evidence. They would make sure that there was, make sure that everyone was kind of coached and they got their stories straight. Obviously, this is, to me, it was super indicting. I don't know why it's not a bigger deal to other people. The city council have said, oh, they've reformed. They look at this program. They talk with the community. They do this and they do that, which is okay. Great. Talk to the community more. The issue for me is always transparency, and transparency is a big thing for me. It's what I got my master's basically on, studying how transparent institutions are the only way that it's the only way that democracy works. It's the only way that you can entrust other people to have these kind of power. Like, you can't trust the police if there's no transparency and they're doing things outside of the law or outside of the public's point of view. And to me, that is the biggest issue. That is how you reform a police department. We don't actually know all the things that you could do, because we don't know all the things that actually happens. And they have had this thing where they'll post their point of view of like anytime they end up killing someone. It's on their YouTube also. But it almost is like they're doing they're like, don't worry, this guy was a real bad guy,
right?
And we killed him. And if you like, when I was watching it, it's obviously the guys that they're confronting are in the wrong for like doing what they were doing at the time. But it's kind of crazy to me that nobody thinks, okay, there's 20 officers here and there's one guy who has a knife. Right. It's like a kitchen knife. Well, how dangerous is that guy to society at that point in time? Does he need to be shot
50 times?
Yeah. And then to me it ends. There's like that's kind of it. I'm like, okay. Well, I guess people don't care too much, or there's not enough attention brought to it. In terms of the investigations, this stuff needs to be like not a presentation by the police of this is why it was okay for us to kill this person. It should be, okay, these are the facts from someone who's impartial, not the police, someone who's always inside, and they're getting the information and all of the records, all of the phone conversations between the dispatchers and the police and the body cam footage. It shouldn't be portions of it. It should be everything, and it should always be public information. It should be as transparent as possible within the law. Like, they can blur out, people's faces that are just regular people, but that stuff needs to be public.
Yeah, it's a lot of coercion going on over there, and you're absolutely right. With regards to transparency, it's because it's like, if you present the information to the public in a justified manner, then let us be the ones to choose and determine for ourselves if we feel like it was right to do so. But if you're doing so in a corrupt manner and you're changing the stories and corroborating with different agencies, then of course that's going to present a biased opinion. And it's pretty much one that's going to make them seem like, hey, we did what you paid us to do, and that's to clean up the streets and protect you from people that will hurt you. But really, is it all that? I mean, this guy, Kelly Thomas, again, a white guy, for all you Black Lives Matter people out there, this was a white man, and all you All Lives Matter people out there. Since you got a problem with police abuse, this would definitely be one to make you be pissed off enough to hit the streets. I did during that time. I went out there and got involved in protests, attempted to organize a few myself. But you're right. It's like, how can you motivate the people enough? Either they don't care enough about their police officers, their public servants, the people that they're paying with their tax dollars, abusing their authority, or they're just simply complicit. So
that was a big moment for Fullerton, though, because it directly led to the recall of two city councilmen and various legal and a lot of issues for the city that they needed to reconcile.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that process being so long really kind of hurt the visibility of the situation. And I think revisiting it and looking at, I mean, that the video and like the transcripts of what Kelly Thomas was saying and how he was asking for his parents and saying he couldn't breathe is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And it's not something that we should forget very soon.
Exactly. Yeah, it's sad that again, you know, we are seeing all of these videos of cop killings, and we're becoming more desensitized to it. You know, you have grown men crying out for their parents, and you know, for the love of God, nobody is standing around doing anything. You got 10, 20 cops standing around assaulting this guy, and nobody had the wherewithal to just stand up for their principles or honor their oath, really, to protect and serve the people of the community. So it's sad that you see this happening, you know, in places such as Orange County, which, like you said, is very conservative, very red, very Republican. And they are those back to blue type folks that
believe it or not, Fullerton voted for Clinton.
Right.
I would say, though, that another thing that is very important is, because I know not all cops are bad apples, and almost, I would say most of them aren't, but the way that the system is set up for them, that is that if they, you know, say something or they, you know, tattle, then it's frowned upon by the people at the top, right? The people that are running things.
Yeah.
Because they want to be unified, and they're like, this is the way we get our bonuses. That's the way we get our raises. You know, don't bite the hand that feeds.
Exactly.
And there are a lot of stories of this. Some tragic ones where guys kind of just lose it, and they're like, I can't. They get into it, and they find out that it's not what they thought it was. And I mean, I don't want to bring up specific stories, but you know, there's the guy who ended up is a black guy. He used to be in the armed forces, and he was in the police force. He brought up corruption, and then he got, you know, thrown in the gutter basically by the upper management, and he kind of lost it.
Are you talking about Christopher Dorner?
Yeah.
Yeah, we understand. Yeah, I mean, and you actually have law enforcement officials that do see the corruption, want to speak out, file police reports, go through the whole rigmarole, you know, contacting investigative, what is it called, the IA and all of that shit, and they don't do anything.
Another problem is that since politicians are so afraid to speak out or to be a person that would, you know, stand up to these organizations, is there's no one for those guys to go to, right? If they went to one of these politicians and they said, look what I have, like, this is something that needs to be fixed in our city, I have evidence. What, like, those people who they're receiving donations from,
right,
from them. So where is their incentive to blow this up into a big story?
Yeah.
And that's going to hurt their, you know, re-election campaign or anything like that. And for me, I'm about the issues, and I just want the end goal of things to be better. If we already know that things are bad and there needs to be things that are fixed, that's, if things are exposed that are bad that we need to fix, that's only a positive thing to me. So I hope that people would be more long-term thinking about the direction of the city and the direction of, I mean, it doesn't just go with local politics. It's got to go with every single level,
exactly,
every election.
Yeah, it does. I mean, believe it or not, I gotta be in Orange County November 10th because I'm on trial for what is it? What did they say? Contempt of court. Okay, for videotaping in court I got contempt of court and the damn judge, Fullerton judge, out there in Santa Ana, or whatever the hell may be, Santa Ana judge, yeah, wanted to hold me in contempt. And I'm looking at 6 years if found guilty because of this. So yeah, they try to pin me to the madman for suing the hell out of their asses over that police assault. But
how many views did you get though?
Oh shit, that one got like 3, 4, 5 million views. I don't know. It keeps going up. I know that. I just get notifications in my YouTube, in Gmail, and I just have to turn them shits off. But yeah.
People love to see other people standing up to what they've been felt oppressed by for so long. Right. And there's so many people that have been feeling they felt helpless. They okay, look at this, the institution around me. There's no way I can get my voice out. And there just needs to be people that are in power who want to hear those voices, who will stand up for those people. And that's kind of the thing, no one's speaking for, it's a cliche, no one's speaking for the little man, right? Or the individual. And so we're always divided by politics into our cleavages, as they would say in political science, but what race are we? How old are we? What income bracket are we? As if that's all that defines us, right? But really what defines us is the issues and our ideas that are differentiating between each person. But that's what needs to be protected. And but nobody speaks for, oh yeah, I represent these ideas. That's out of politics now. And it's, what kind of person are you? Do you look like me? Do you, have very few set of ideas that are similar?
Yeah, and none of that should matter as long as you're about the principle and a man of your word, a woman of your word, person that is standing up for truth, then that should be what defines you, especially when you want to be a public representative. And yeah, it's sad that we see this level of corruption pretty much happening from the top down, from the bottom up, or whatever the case may be. But you do need fresh blood in there to kind of mix things up, expose it for what it is. And that's actually another thing that I want to talk to you about, because I know Friends for Fullerton Future, a publication that pretty much was sued by the city of Fullerton for exposing them for their bullshit corruption. I think it was a city supervisor or something like that was driving drunk, crashed, and the city did everything that they could to cover it up. There was even an instance during my city council run where, what's her name, Chaffee or whatever, she's the wife. Yeah, what's that?
Might be Chafee.
Yeah, Chafee. This is the wife of Chafee, the other Chafee. She was running for office, and she was going around stealing people's signs. They had her on video, herself stealing people's signs. I mean, this dirty. When you talk about those dirty, political games they play, you have tons of examples out there in Fullerton, and it's sad because how can we rein in that corruption? What can we do? We can't contact Internal Affairs. We can't contact the federal government. They really don't give a damn. All of these city officials, whether it's qualified immunity for a police officer or elected official, is judicial immunity for a damn judge. So with you filling these shoes, that again, you'll be a spokesperson for the people of there in Fullerton, the ones that are being silenced and or are afraid to speak up. What will you do to help, reduce government corruption? Can anything be done about it? Do you think the government is just too corrupt to be fixed at all? I mean,
obviously, I still believe in it, and that's why I run and I work in the government. And I think maybe I'm an optimist, or like I said, maybe I'm a masochist. But I honestly believe, I think there's a plan, and that's to kind of reform how people get elected and how elections go. Because if I got elected, I would just be one person, and maybe Whitaker would be there also. That still wouldn't be enough to change a lot of the policies. But there are things that you can structure to make elections easier for more independent candidates to get into government. For example, like if you reduce, you'd have to change the way the incentives of political donations, and you can make you can't change the campaign finance laws necessarily. I think that would be too abstract for people to vote on. But something like signs, which or mailers, which people kind of hate because it's just garbage
every time.
Yeah, and it's the poor, poor postal workers are, staying out till 10, 11 o'clock all election seasons delivering mail, and it's 90% garbage political ads. It would be easy to do something where you would put up a proposal to say, okay, candidates can still, you can't silence free speech, right? You can still send out mail, but for election purposes, if you send three mailers and the other candidates who are on the ballot haven't sent any, you have to pay for a mailer for them.
Right.
And that would discourage the amount of mailers, and that's how you could pitch it to the citizens. But it would also encourage people who don't want to put a ton of money into running, because even for city council, it costs at bare minimum, like for just me to get my name on the ballot, I'm sure you know, and I put up my statement, it costs $500 just to do that. And so to encourage more independent, more regular people who don't want to become career politicians or don't have some other, incentives behind the scenes that would help them if they were on the city council, you need to reduce that financial incentive or burden on independent people. And I think that's a way to do it. Same thing for if you wanted to do that with signs. You could, if you put up 1,000 signs, then you have to pay for the other candidates part of their signs too. Taxes, right? They have to pay their fair share.
I don't think you have too many people wanting to put up signs then, if that be part of the deal. But you're right.
Exactly, though. But that's the point.
Yeah.
Get that clutter out of here.
If anything, decentivize them from wanting to use as much money and waste all of that money on these campaigns, and hopefully encourage those people out there that can't really afford all of that crap to begin with an opportunity to get out there and be heard. I know one thing, of
course, do some actual campaigning, talk to people, answer questions,
and of course do some interviews. It was so many publications that were avoided, like the Friends for Fullerton Future, the Fullerton Observer, a lot of independent journalists and publications that are just silenced altogether. And it's a shame that because of that, it's harder for people like you to actually be seen and heard. But if you definitely have the opportunity to get elected, use that speaker box, use that microphone to speak as loud and proud as possible, because like I said, the people in Fullerton would definitely appreciate it, and they need some young blood in there to switch it up, somebody with a clean slate, to provide that fresh start for the city that they're looking for. Mackenzie,
one of the big things. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Wait, one of the big things that I don't know, I haven't made as big of a deal of it as I think it is I want to I just said I would donate half of my salary to supporting programs in Fullerton that promote new ideas, as like seed startup money for young people, for kids, for at Cal State Fullerton and Fullerton College, at the high schools, to voice their opinions on issues that matter to them in the community, and raise those voices and give them money to support that, have prizes, have contests, supporting, giving young people a voice, because we don't have a voice. Like, what it's
especially us younger folks. Like I said, the old heads, they kind of been in power for too long. They got outdated mindsets. Joe Biden has been in office for damn near 50 years, hasn't done a damn thing. Both of them, between Trump and Biden, they're pushing 70 plus. It's 140 years between the two of them. How many of us, people have lived and died in that amount of time, but yet these same people stay in power. You even mentioned Bruce Whitaker is an okay of a guy as he may seem, because he does play the he is still in there. So if you're able to, have that partnership, create an alliance with him to start rallying against that Fullerton City Council. Please wield that power wisely, because like I said, we the people could definitely use it to get us out of this trouble here. So I don't want to hold you up too long, but is there anything else that you want to say to the people out there before I let you go?
Thanks so much for having me. I'm sorry about the quality and the technical issues. It's really great to be able to talk to someone who like has run and lived in Fullerton. That's how I heard about you. And I've of course seen your antics, and you're standing up to the institutions and really people need that. A lot of people aren't attracted to issues unless it is that kind of stuff. That I don't want to say it's like entertainment, but it's something that people are drawn to intrinsically. And you are the one connecting those types of people into ones where they can get more involved in more technical issues and maybe look at the bigger picture and how, okay, this is the steps to go after. This is how we fix things. This is the what needs to happen for these kinds of videos to be a thing of the past, rather than stuff that everybody wants to watch because they feel that connection and that, desperation and feeling the powerlessness that comes with those videos and how you feel from watching them.
It's sad, but I mean, I don't do it for views or to be entertaining. I do it more so to expose the corruption.
Exactly,
I mean, I'm always delighted about how many views those videos actually get, because I never expect, anybody to even watch them at all. But it's very, heartening to know that someone such as yourself seen those and was inspired by them enough to say, hey, I'm a follow in those footsteps. I'm gonna do it my own way, but I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna shake shit up,
Well, I always want to learn like from the experiences of others, and when I see something that I don't agree with, there's a way that I try to fix them, and it's different than other people's. But I'm on that same page. I want to be someone that helps. I want to be someone, I don't know. I have those pull at the heartstring. Maybe I'm a bleeding heart libertarian, and I've always kind of wished that it's hard to like stay on that course, right? The allure of just keeping your head down, making money, not having to worry about this stuff is appealing, especially for me. And I know like you said, you experienced discrimination in Fullerton, and I didn't. And it's so much harder, I feel, to like keep people who haven't felt discrimination interested and involved, and not just kind of close their eyes to or put the blinders on and just get through life, because everybody has their own problems, their own issues, and I understand that. But that's why I kind of like almost am envious of you that you can be like, look at this, open your eyes to this. This is why you need to not have those blinders on. I didn't mean to like, okay, yeah, the views. I didn't mean to like put that on you. I meant it more in the way that, I meant it in the way that like you're taking those blinders off of people. You're saying, look, you can't be okay with this. This is something that is not an issue of just personal issue. It's something that affects the entire community. And so, thank you for that.
Oh, my pleasure, man. I'll keep exposing their ass every damn time. Like, I mean, I'm a cop watch cop blocker, so every time I have an interaction with a cop, the camera is gonna be rolling. So whether it's one person watching or 1 million people watching, my goal is to, like
as
I
is
said,
your constitutional right.
Exactly, it is, and I'm gonna bring that up in court also when I get there, since they want to say I didn't have the right to record in court. Yes, I do. You're a public official. Of course, I have the right to make sure that you're doing your damn job as taxpayers. Want. And so I appreciate you, Mackenzie, for being here and sharing your journey, as well as, like I said, for stepping up to the plate to do something tremendous, and that's be a representative of we the people. So hopefully I'll get the chance to work with you as governor of California, since that's my next venture. But in the meantime, everybody out there, please check out Mackenzie Chang, City Council candidate for District 2 out there in Fullerton. Again, Mackenzie, I truly appreciate you being here on the Black Side of Liberty, my friend.
Thanks so much for having me. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Take care until next time. We'll talk then.
See ya.
All right, you guys, that again was Mackenzie Chang, City Council candidate for District 2 out there in Fullerton. Like I said, his information is right here at the bottom of the screen. Facebook, Instagram, please check out that man. Connect with him. Help him get elected, okay? It does take money to run campaigns. Like he said, he spent $500 of his own money. He's a young guy. I'm pretty sure he got bills to pay and would love to have spent that money on other things. But instead, he invested that into the community by making sure he has an opportunity to be a voice for you. So if you got any money at all, please be sure to contribute it to him. Help him do a little bit of last minute advertising before election day. If he has any videos, he can do boosts and shit on social media. All of that counts, and it helps with phone banking. So he can actually call people on the phone and say, hey, I'm Mackenzie Chang, Mac Chang up in the house, and I'm running for City Council District 2. Vote for me. And help him right there by spreading the message and connect with him on social media so you can share any of his posts and get him out there as well. Get his name out there. And yeah, we'll definitely be sure to have him back. Hopefully in the future, next time he will be a city council representative. And that should definitely be an interesting conversation. So in the meantime, of course, y'all know what to do. Help me get elected candidate as the next governor of California, since I am a candidate. But I need your help. I'm trying to collect $10,000 to cover the initial funds to launch my campaign for California governor. Somebody asked me why am I wearing a mask? Because of this fucktard right here, Gavin Newsom. He's mandated that all of the people in California wear a mask. I'm wearing my mask to protest against mask wearing. If you don't know what this mask is, watch the movie V for Vendetta. I have to say it every damn time that somebody asks me why I'm wearing this damn mask. So for all of you out there that may have heard me say that before and feel like I'm a broken ass record because of motherfuckers like this one saying, why am I wearing a mask? You should know this mask. This mask right here, V for Vendetta, if you haven't seen the movie, it's the main character of the movie, and he wears it because he is against government corruption, and he inspires everybody in the damn town to wear one too, so they can rise up against their government. And that's what I want from you. Go out and get your V for Vendetta mask. Get your Guy Fawkes mask today. The 5th of November is creeping up very quickly, and that's actually going to be my last episode for the year. So that's why I've been cranking out these episodes as much as I can, so y'all can stay informed on what's going on before I disappear into the ether. And in the meantime, please spread the word. The Realistic Podcast 1. Check out the movie V for Vendetta, and then you'll find out why I got on this damn mask. But like I said, in the meantime, the reason why I'm wearing my mask is to protest against this mandated force of us having to wear a mask. And I would like to get this state back on track, reverse that trend, but I can only do so with your help. So please head on over to crowdpack.com/C/Wildstar4Gov, as you can see right there at the bottom of the screen, and make a contribution to my campaign for California governor today. And what you can also do, especially if you live in California, is get involved in the recall effort. We've been collecting signatures. I've been out there twice a week for about 5-6 hours a day. Matter of fact, I'll be at the Walmart on Sean Brawley in Fresno tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. to collect more signatures so we can recall Gavin Newsom now. Gruesome Newsom, we want to get his ass out of office and get me in there. So please visit the website, recallgavin2020.com. That's recallgavin2020.com. Let me get that up on the screen. Recallgavin2020.com. Print out the petition. You can print it out right here. Download the petition, print it out. They even have instructions. They'll tell you how and what to do with that petition. So print it out. look at the instructions so you know what the fuck you're doing if you haven't did this before, but print it out, sign it, and then circulate that, because it's going to have 4 of the spots for some friends and family members to sign on that petition as well. They even have one for 10 spots. So print out the 5 on the 8.5 by 10, and what is it? The 10 on the 8.5 by 11 has to be the legal paper for the 10 spot. But print out that petition, sign that particular petition, circulate that petition, and send that in as soon as possible. The deadline is coming up real quick. It's November 17th, and we need 1.5 million signatures. I believe we're over the halfway mark for that, but we need more. So please get involved in the recall effort now. If you do live in California, if you don't, all you have to do is just spread the word. Like me and Mac was saying, you out there, you on social media, you sharing shit, you sharing all types of dumb shit. Share this shit. Share the important stuff, the information that we, the people, need to know right now, because it's a deadline and our lives are on the line. So if you want to save some lives, save California, help us by getting rid of this fucktard, okay? And what you can also do is get involved with We Have Rights, wehaverights.org, nonprofit organization that I'm affiliated with. And we go out there and are involved in the recall efforts as well. But we are also putting pressure on our elected officials to let them know that you work for us. And we want to hold them accountable and make sure they're honoring their constitutional oath. And that's why we're pressuring Gavin Newsom to get out of office right now. He won't reopen the state of California and let businesses reopen, let schools reopen, let parks reopen, let churches reopen, let people's hearts be open again to speaking and talking and meeting with each other in person, since they're so damn afraid over a virus that has a 99% survival rate. But yeah, a lot of fear and propagandizing has been done, fear mongering, and We Have Rights is standing up to that. So please check out wehaverights.org. You can make a $25 contribution and get one of these wonderful shirts right here. I got all 3. You're going to see me sporting all 3 of these in my videos. Make sure you get one today by making a $25 contribution, or you can join our team and get one your damn self. Get a t-shirt and a sticker once you join our team. Okay? But yes, definitely get involved. Like I said, we've been able to mobilize tens of thousands of people to protest in the state of California. There I am right there. That's me without the mask. Can you see the Realistic Podcast one? There I am without the mask, if you want to see how pretty I am. And there's more pictures of me here as well. But like I said, please get involved in the movement today. And speaking of which, I'm going to be back for another Black Side of Liberty. Like I said, I am winding things down, so I'm doing my best to churn them out as soon as I can, as quickly as I can, especially before Election Day. Because please check out the Black's Law edition, where I will be coming back tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. So come back tomorrow and get involved in the chat with my guests who will be here talking about Black's Law, what it means, how it affects you. So please come on back tomorrow, where we will be having the Black's Law edition part 2. Part 1, he was supposed to show up and come back tomorrow. We'll find out. I'll have him explain to you himself why he wasn't there. But come on back tomorrow, where we will be having a very special episode of Black Side of Liberty, the Black's Law edition version, coming to you soon. And that again is tomorrow, Saturday. So all my beings of light, art, culture, and knowledge out there, I truly appreciate you for watching. All of y'all drop in the comments, even the dumb ones. I appreciate y'all for chiming in, talking to your boy, and all of y'all that didn't, definitely be sure to come back tomorrow and talk to me then, okay? All my beings of light, art, culture, and knowledge out there, have a great evening. I'm about out of here. Peace. Bye.